Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Dio here, and I'm back with another first 10 turns guide on the very hard difficulty in Mortal Empires. This time we're looking at the Master Rune Lord of Karag Azul, Thorek Ironbrow. To start things off, move your Runesmith hero into Thorek's army. Before the first battle, establish a non-aggression and trade agreement with the Necrarch Brotherhood, and a non-aggression pact with the Bowmen of Orion. You are now ready to begin your first battle. Apply the Rune of Burning to your Grudge Throwers and the Rune of Stoicism to your Longbeards and fight this one manually. We'll be using a very simple formation here, where our Lord and Hero will be placed slightly ahead of the main force to absorb the enemy charge. Start chipping away at the enemy's Orc Boy units with your Grudge Throwers as they approach. Focus your Quarrelers at the Spider, as this is the biggest threat here. You can use Thorek to intercept the Spider, but don't leave him in there for too long, as the Spider will easily take him out. Try to get your Iron Breakers to use all of their ammo before charging them into the melee. Don't forget to use your Rune Magic to buff as many of your troops as possible with extra attack and speed. Once the Spider is gone, the rest of the army will crumble away in no time. After the battle, grab Drink to Victory for some nice province-wide bonuses. Grab Root Marcher on Thorek and Rune of Speed on your Runesmith. Start moving Thorek towards the Lost Plateau and begin researching Include Related Families for public order. Build a gold mining pit in Karag Zorn and upgrade your barracks to Tier 2. Attack the Lost Plateau and fight the battle manually to preserve your forces. It's time to deploy one of the Dwarves' greatest weapons, the Corner Camp. Once again, focus your artillery at the enemy's Orc units. Try to get the enemy units to blob up around your Lord and Hero as much as possible to create opportunities for your ranged to do some serious damage. Don't forget to keep using those runes to buff your army throughout the battle. Once your front lines lock, focus your ranged units on their archers. Keep your ranged units safe and the victory will come in no time. After the battle, occupy the settlement. Grab Rune of Speed on Thorek and a Rune of Wrath and Ruin on your Runesmith. Recruit 3 units of miners with blasting charges into Thorek's army. Also recruit a new Lord in a Lost Plateau. The Cunning trait is ideal here, but not necessary. Demolish the growth building in your new settlement for now. Move Thorek to roughly around here for a maximum ambush success chance, and set him into ambush stance. Move your new Lord next to Thorek to act as bait for the enemy army. Build a Trinket Maker in a Lost Plateau. Fight this battle manually, regardless if you ambush or not. The enemy should still attack you even if your ambush doesn't work. Set up ahead of the enemy army here and start targeting them with your Grudge Throwers. For some reason the AI just gets stuck here like this in ambushes, so use up all of your Grudge Thrower ammo before moving in and finishing them off. After the battle, take Drink to Victory as the duration stacks. Finish off the remains of the army with an easy auto-resolve, and grab Ruth of Wrath and Ruin on Thorek and the same on your Runesmith hero. You can now attack Mount Arachnos. Before you begin the battle, bring your second Lord in to reinforce. You should fight this one manually. Once again, find yourself a cozy corner to camp up in to protect your flanks and focus their Orc Boy units with your Grudge Throwers, as they are the biggest threat here. Just like the previous battles, use your Lords and Heroes to blob up the enemy infantry so that you can use your blasting charges to do crazy damage. Don't forget to use your Runes of Wrath and Ruin on big blobs of enemies for even more damage and unit disruption. Start focusing your Grudge Throwers on the second army as soon as they are within range. You may need to get your infantry involved for the second wave, as you'll likely run out of blasting charges on wave 1. After the battle, occupy the settlement and disband your second Lord to save some money. Grab Miner's Instinct or Warmaster on Thorek, whichever one you prefer, and recruit 3 Quarrelers into your army. Begin researching heavy quernstones for some much needed growth. Demolish the barracks in Mount Arachnos, and set Empower the Guild's commandment in this province. Move Thorek up north, but make sure you have enough movement to encamp and recruit 3 more Quarrelers into his army. Build a Trinket Maker in your new settlement. Attack Karag Orad directly and declare war on Queeg Headtaker. Before you begin the battle, grab sharpened weapons on your Runesmith. This is the biggest battle in your first 10 turns, and you will need to fight manually. Set up your army on this side of the map, away from the enemy towers. The Skaven should only have enough corruption for 1 summon, so make sure to keep an eye on it. The enemy shouldn't use it, but it's worth taking out this tower just in case. Move Thorek and your Runesmith into this corner and start using the Rune of Wrath and Ruin on the enemy garrison. Be careful of the Master Assassin Lord on the walls. Use your Quarrelers to take him out ASAP. You can cheese this siege by casting Rune of Wrath and Ruin over and over, but if you're on a shorter battle timer limit like me, you will need to storm the walls in the last 10 minutes or so to take the win. After the battle, occupy the settlement and claim your first relic. Continue down the blue skill line on Thorek and build a Trinket Maker in your new settlement. Establish a trade agreement with Numas. The reinforcing Skaven armies will scatter in random directions. As Queeg has only just taken Granite Massive, it's safe to jump to your border here. Make sure your army's area of influence blocks the whole pass. Upgrade the gold mine in your capital. Attack Granite Massive, as Queeg should still be there, and grab Rune of Slowness on your Runesmith before the battle. You can comfortably auto-resolve this battle or fight manually to prevent any unit losses, and occupy the settlement after the battle. Continue down the blue skill line on Thorek and grab Forgefire on your runesmith. Demolish the barracks here and set the province commandment to empower the guilds. Clan Wars will launch a desperate attack against either Carag Orid or Mount Arachnos. Change the march stance and reinforce whichever settlement they attack. You'll likely lose Mount Arachnos if they attack there. If Carag Orid was their target, select the settlement and attack with the garrison to wipe them out for good. Choose Execute and Loot after the battle. Grab Wallmaster on Thorek and Wardbreaker on your runesmith. Build another Trinket Maker in your new settlement and upgrade Mount Arachnos to Tier 2. Move Thorek down to your capital province, set in camp stance, and recruit more Quarrelers into your army. And that's it, Thorek's first 10 turns on the very hard difficulty on the Mortal Empires map. I like to focus on the bottom right corner of the map next, as you get another relic there, and the Lizardmen will declare war on you eventually anyway. Don't forget to check the Forge regularly, as you can get some very strong runes and banners to buff your lords and armies. It's worth recruiting a small army to defend Carag Orid while you campaign against the lizards to the east, as the Greenskins are likely to take Qatar. Focus on researching autonomy of the hordes after, as the dwarves have very low growth overall and need the boost. If you like this guide, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below, as it hugely helps my little channel out. I plan on focusing heavily on Total War in the future and covering more than just first 10 turn guides, so stay tuned for more content. See you next time. Toodles.